What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Showtime is Blaze the King with King's Critiques for Hell's Paradise. And I know it's an older thing, kind of, sort of, because season 3 is currently running. But hey, like I said in the last episode, I didn't quite finish it when it first started airing. I made an older video that episodes 1 through 3 are currently up. Did episode 4, now we're on 5. So we're getting back into the swing of things, and we'll eventually get back to this. And y'all can let me know your opinions on how fast you want me to finish this, and I will take that into consideration for when I have time to binge more stuff. Which is honestly why I'm doing these right now, is because I don't have a lot of backed up recordings, and my next week at least is going to be busy, so I gotta make sure I have at least that covered. But that said, you can let me know your opinions about things in the comment section down below. As I always say, hit the like button, subscribe, let the whole video, then let me get the watch time, and let's get started. They set up a nice little camp area, that's what it is. You passed out, and now they're all hanging out. Well, that's a face that only a mother could love. I mean, those are not terrible decorations, honestly. Like, body flowers? Use a hero's way of putting that when the fuck, Sagiri? Yeah, that. When she was trying to be so simple about it. It has the same energy as that Chainsmoker cat thing. Like, she was trying to talk about the monsters and how they had, bone and organs and this, that, but they didn't have dicks? Yes, Sugihira. They didn't have any penile function. Kind of like Yanni after the reservation chief was going through her whole bit about her tattoos, and she just kind of off the wall said it's a dick, which was censored, by the way. Difference between Crunchy and Netflix, I guess. Probably a good thing I didn't watch this on Netflix, huh? But I digress. The energy is very similar to that. And this is a good thumbnail. This is actually a very accurate way of putting the creatures on this island. Is terrifying but stupid. Kind of like the Titans. Terrifying but stupid. Well, the normal ones anyway. The special Titans are a different story, but the normal Titans, terrifying and stupid. The look on Gabimaru's face, though, he's just so done with this. He's already so sick and tired of everything happening. He was even tired before he got to the place. He just wants to get this and get it over with. And now the look on his face is like, okay, you know what? Now I'm into this idea. Hey, yo, I get the dude's trying to be chivalrous because she's, like, kind of weak, but man, this is sexist as hell. I mean, granted, on the one end, I do kind of agree with the whole idea of things like arranged marriage and things like that, but that's sexist and assumptive. You can't just push that on her immediately. If she wants to follow her, like, desire to be a samurai first, and then worry about getting tapped later, that's her prerogative. She's not a complete bitch, so, like, she could very easily get both done in her lifetime if she don't get herself killed. But, like, yeah, that's sexist. Sexism is not cool, unless it is. Oh god, that's not going to be a new bit, is it? I feel like I'm going to make that new bit unintentionally. Oh well. Pause. I'm going to rewind for a bit, because this actually is the topic with another show. Like, this whole concept is basically what's going on, well, what was going on in ReZero with Reed and Julius, about how Julius is incredibly skilled as a swordsman. However, that does not always account to a fight, which is why he got his ass beat twice, at least. Technically thrice at least, because that other timeline that we had went over. Did I upload that yet? Well, by the time I get this uploaded, maybe that'll have been uploaded. We'll see. Maybe after this I'll go... Actually, I don't have my rum shirt, so I'll just wait to watch more ReZero till later. But, anyway, Yeah, it's kind of, this is basically that conversation. The thing that Julius needs to figure out is he needs to, like, not think specifically as a swordsman. You know, kick Reed in the dick if you have to. Also, again, wrong. Because, like, yeah, genetically, women are, in fact, weaker than men. However, bitch might have some secret potential you don't know about. Honestly, this is anime. Like, she might be able to tap into a similar thing he can, where she just and kicks his ass. You don't know. So, like, in a world of superpowers, at least, I would never discredit a woman. Not one bit. Like, when it comes to actual physical strength, yes, okay, he kind of has a point. When it comes to a world where, you could develop or unlock a random ability at some point in your life, that's another story. So is this a pair who had already been on the island current tense while the big guy's talking to his two coworkers in Sagiri and the big guy? Tengen? That's his name? Whatever. Because, like, they're trying to escape the island. But is that going to go well? By what's being discussed and how they just panned over these two? I'm going to guess no. So, TLDR, all his friends are dead. However, there's another issue with that. They're not quite fully dead. And they've been reading the solo leveling manhwa. Wow. They're asking the same thing that was brought up in the last episode. Were we sent to hell for divine punishment? Well, now it might be actually looking like that could be a thing. Also, is that guy or a girl? Because I could not tell. By the way, the grandfather was worried about bloodlines. I'm assuming man because, like, that's how bloodlines continue on. But oh well. Damn, that's rough for the kid. He watched his whole family die all because he trusted a stranger, and now he got brought to be executed. But that's also why, trusting a stranger who comes into your world is not really a good idea. Hey, fuck around and find out, right? Unfortunate for him, and hopefully the blonde guy can make sure he lives at least, but I doubt it. Also, this dude kind of reminds me of Well, they fought their way to the boat and survived, mostly. Though the blonde guy gonna die? Probably. Talk about the kid being a twink. Well.
Wait, what?
See, this is the exact reason I was confused earlier. Because, like, I'm not gonna assume an age, but also, this is why I was confused earlier. I feel like you might be projecting a little bit. She is good at what she does, but stronger than you? Maybe in here. Just a little bit, but physically, she hasn't unlocked any superpowers yet, so I think you still got that, bro. Meanwhile, she's just looking at him like, bitch, I'm not leaving. I told you, I'm staying to finish my job. Unless you're gonna force me to leave, in which case, the look on her face when he goes into sexism mode is crazy. You need to go back home. Find a husband, bear children. And she's like, motherfucker. Again, sexism isn't cool. Sometimes it does have its place, but as a whole, it isn't cool. And I'm talking about both sides of the perspective, but like, yeah, unless like, I don't know, reality's sake, you're having this conversation with some woman who's trying to do something that's gonna get her killed, like in this case, but this is a fantasy world, so again, she might have some hidden potential she doesn't even know about yet. But this conversation, in reality's sake, has a lot more merit. Because, like, there are certain times this can be completely relevant, and then other times you're pushing the line. And even in a fantasy world, we have that perspective. But he should be giving her a little bit more credibility because it's a fantasy world, and she could pull off some shit that even he can't. I'm gonna get so much hate for every time I hope he dies soon just so I can stop talking about this. Damn. He just tried to assault her. Like, I'm not sure if he was trying to give some tough love because he was trying to talk shit. He just totally tried to assault her and got his sword stolen. Oh, good. It's Friday the 13th, 1 era Jason. Cool. He got divided. Well, at least I won't have to talk about the whole sexism thing anymore. Okay, so, like, I know that was crass to say about him, but yeah, I feel like if I had had to say that for another 30 episodes, it would have gotten me in so much trouble. But before I do the usual outro bit, uh, apparently, Black Kid is a girl. Again, I was completely confused because that could have went either way, knowing how anime works. You know, svelte person just kind of wearing simple things. Can't really say much about him. So until she had actually come up with, I am a girl. And again, the whole continuing the clan thing, I usually would assume. So, like, speaking of sexism, my bad. But that aside, we got the thing with those two, and the blonde guy, the black kid, they're good. And, you know, Gabimaru's whole group seems to be mostly chill. Other than, what we just witnessed, the big guy and Sagiri having their little issue, and now the big guy's dead. So, one final time, sexism is not okay unless it is. And again, time, place. That conversation is done here until it comes up some point in the future in some other anime. Or if somebody else is just as bad as that guy here. That being said, let me know your thoughts about the episodes, season, series, and all of that in the comment section down below, as well as, of course, about other shows, movies, etc. I should check out this is next is nor in general. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the other channels in the description, ring bells like Facebook, follow Twitter, Blue Sky, TikTok, Patreon, and Twitch. Subscribe to Patreon and Twitch for benefits. Twitch, mostly Pokemon stuff. Patreon, stuff mostly related to this. Providing the mostly unedited visuals and audio, the stuff I upload here, as well as, of course, exclusive content coming up in the near future. Still gotta record a lot of that, but hopefully I have some time in the next couple of weeks. That being said, it's been the Blizzard King with King's Critiques out. Ta-ta for now. Peace.